Okay, so we've all seen it, right? People making money online. But then, when you think about starting yourself, it just feels like this massive, complicated puzzle. Well, in this explainer, we're going to cut right through all that noise and lay out a simple, clear path to get you started.
You know, if you've ever thought that making an income online is just for the gurus, or that it's all way too technical to even bother trying, trust me, you are not alone. That feeling is what stops so many people dead in their tracks.
So let's just tackle that feeling head on. We're calling this first part the online money hurdle, because honestly, before you can build anything, you've got to get over the doubts that are holding you back.
And look, it usually boils down to two big things. First, that feeling that it's too hard. And second, that nagging voice in your head that wonders, am I just reselling someone else's thing? Is this even real? And you know what? Those are totally valid fears.
And let's be real, these feelings don't come from nowhere. You're feeling overwhelmed by the flood of information out there. Maybe you've made some money mistakes in the past, and that's made you cautious. Or you're just, and rightly so, skeptical of all those get-rich-quick promises online.
So, how do we get past all those roadblocks? It's simple. We shift our focus. Instead of getting obsessed with the big idea of making money, we're going to focus on the method. It's all about building your own automated system.
Okay, this is the big mindset shift right here. How do I make money is a huge, scary question. But asking, what do I even need to do? Well, that's different. That question breaks it all down into small, actual steps. It turns a wish into a plan.
So what even is this automation system? Just think of it like a little machine you build online, a machine that automatically brings visitors, or eyeballs as we call them, to whatever it is you've created. You set it up, and it does the work of getting people to see your stuff.
And building it isn't some big secret. It's a really clear process. First, you get step-by-step video training. Then, you learn exactly how to attract those visitors. And finally, you just implement what you learned to set up your own system. It's a simple path. You learn, and then you do.
All right, now for a really, really important point. Let's talk about taking action versus having followers, because this is where we're going to bust a major myth that all those online gurus love to push.
See, the typical guru myth tells you that you need tons and tons of followers before you can even think about making $1. But the real creator path, it's completely different. The actual starting line isn't followers, it's just taking action. You don't need a huge audience to get going, you just need to start. And this, right here, is probably the single most important piece of advice you'll hear. Information is totally useless if you don't apply it. It's not about how many videos you watch, it's about taking what you learn and actually doing something with it. That action, that's the only ingredient that really matters.
Which brings us to our final section, taking a realistic step forward. This is all about changing our definition of what success actually looks and feels like, especially when you're just starting out.
Let's be perfectly 100% clear about what is not being promised here. This is not about some fantasy of private jets and flashy cars by next Tuesday. That's the kind of hype that makes you skeptical and leads to those money mistakes we talked about. We're just throwing that whole idea out the window.
Instead, the real promise is something way more grounded and honestly, way more valuable. It is simply about moving your lifestyle forward. It's about making real, tangible progress, creating more options for yourself, and building something real one step at a time. Now that is a goal worth chasing.
So I'll just leave you with this question. What if you reframed the entire goal? What if the first step isn't about becoming a millionaire overnight, but it's simply about moving your own life forward? If you decided to take just one step today to do that, what would it be?